This week's Parsha is Parshas Yisro. In Parshas Yisro we have the 10 Commandments, the Aseres HaDibros. The first of the 10 Commandments is Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Hatzisicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim Beis Avadim. I am Hashem your God who has taken you out of Egypt, the house of slaves. The first word of the Aseres HaDibros, Anochi, I, is very interesting. The word for I normally throughout the Torah is ani. But here, the Torah uses the word anochi. Where did this word anochi come from? What's its origin? And how is it different than the word ani? So there's a very interesting medrash that says that the word anochi is actually not a Hebrew word. It's actually the Egyptian word for I. The Jewish people spoke Egyptian, obviously, living in Egypt, enslaved in Egypt, I should say, for 210 years. So obviously that became their native tongue, or close to their native tongue. So Hashem wanted to say the first word of the 10 Commandments in the Egyptian tongue, to relate to them on their level, to relate to them on something they feel comfortable with, as if speaking to a friend, an Egyptian friend. The idea is that the commandment of Anochi Hashem Elokecha, the first of the 10 Commandments, is not simply that we have a obligation to believe that there is one God or that there is no other God. It's that we have to believe that Hashem has a connection to us, that one God is our one God, our personal one God, who intervenes in our personal lives and who thinks of our personal fate. And he is someone who we can speak to on a personal basis, who we can ask for things and who will listen to us. And that all is entailed in the first commandment. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. I am Hashem your God. I speak the Egyptian tongue. And I am someone who you should feel comfortable with, who you should feel like you have a connection to. The verse in the Mizmor David says, Kol Hashem HaKoach. The voice of Hashem is at its strength. And the Medrash on this week's Parsha says that when is the voice of Hashem at its utmost strength is when Hashem is speaking to everybody on their level, which is a similar idea to what we're talking about here, is that Hashem is a personal God. You should view him as a personal God. He's someone who looks at your affairs specifically, what's going on in your life, and who intervenes into your life specifically. Not just a supreme ruler, an overlord. He has a kingdom of people. He's your personal God. There's an interesting story related to this. Valentin Potocki was a famous Polish nobleman, very wealthy, very well known. Made a big splash in the media when he converted. And at the time, for whatever reason, they deemed what he did as illegal or against the country, or I don't know exactly, but he ended up in jail. By the way, his Jewish name was Avraham ben Avraham. So Valentin Potocki was lying in jail awaiting his death because they gave him the death penalty for his infraction. And the Vilna Gaon went to visit him. As the Vilna Gaon walked into the cell, he noticed that Valentin Potocki was crying bitterly. The Vilna Gaon asked him why was he crying, because Avraham ben Avraham was a very righteous convert, and it's a great privilege to be able to sacrifice your life for Hashem. And he was given that opportunity. Rabbi Akiva himself was, when he had the chance to fulfill the mitzvah of sacrificing his life on Hashem's name, he was glad. So why was Avraham ben Avraham crying? That's what the Vilna Gaon asked the convert, the righteous convert. So Valentin Potocki answered, and he said that his problem was that the reason why he was crying was because he hadn't had the chance to build a family. When a convert undergoes a conversion, it's considered as if he has a new life, a new everything, and he had no children. He had no father, no mother, no sister, no brother, no Jewish familial connection whatsoever. To which the Vilna Gaon answered that he does have a family, and his family is Hashem. Hashem is our Father, in a quite literal sense. And we should never feel alone, whether we have family or not, because Hashem has a personal connection with us. And this first commandment is the way the Vilna Gaon calmed Valentin Potocki down. He said, you do have a father in a very, very real sense. And that's the message of Anochi Hashem Elokecha, believing that Hashem is your God, your personal God. The second commandment says that we shall not have any idols. We shouldn't worship any idols. In there, it talks also about making idols, and it specifically talks about two types of idols. A type of idol that is likened to something that we actually see, for instance, the sun, moon, stars, heavens, mountains, whatever, a tree, an image that exists in this world, and now we're going to serve it, or we're going to use that image and carve it in stone and serve that stone. Another type of idol is an idol that is not likened to anything we saw, something that's abstract, something that's not seen in this world, something that comes from someone's imagination. What's interesting is that this is not the only time the Torah specifically delineates these two types when it talks about worshiping idols, worshiping other gods, other supposed gods. The question is, why does the Torah go to the length? Every word in the Torah is very important and has a specific message. Why does it go to the lengths of saying these two different types of idols? Just say, you may not serve anything else but me, whether it's carved, image from something else, likened to something else. It doesn't make a difference. You may not serve anything but Hashem. Why does it specifically delineate these two categories almost always whenever it talks about serving anything else but God? That's the question. Have a great Shabbos.